And welcome back, folks. This is Mr. Nibb. Today we're going to be going over the I Am Iron Man event. I'm going to discuss a lot of things in this brief video. Everything from my lineup to his usability to how viable he is to where I rank him, and even talk about some of the deals and things that Fox Next was giving us during this particular event. So, that said, let's get started with my lineup. I actually made a video a little while back talking about which shield members to farm. I went after Medic, Cap, Hawkeye, Quake, and Shield Security. Now, most people are using Quake and Captain America, or a combination of them in their A team, so they're already farming those two. I particularly love Hawkeye, so I've been farming him for a very long time. His blind cannot be ignored. It's kind of overpowered when it works properly, but Shield Security, I was fortunate enough to get higher in the arena at a very early time, so farming Shield Security was really easy for me. And the Medic, like, everybody gets Medic right off the bat. Now, Medic is probably the hardest to farm, like, of all of them, because you're not really focusing the Medic. I actually took advantage of the $5 deal that they had and bought me some shards just to get me an up. That said, those double shard drop days were pretty amazing. I know a lot of these other YouTubers will downplay it. Is it worth it or not? It definitely was. If you're trying to like farm certain heroes, like on one day I think I got like 25 cap shards. So you be the judge. Like, I don't know how often you get cores or what your core count is, or if you have abundance of them, but I do. So I was like, I just blew some cores on those days and got some extra shards, especially for those heroes that are part of my A team. So, I mean, overall, the event hasn't really been too shabby. Like, I kind of enjoyed it. I think that there were some good deals. There were some bad ones, obviously, but there's always bad ones. It's like, come on, it's Fox Next. We can expect that there's going to be, like, overpriced deals and things that, like, really aren't worth it. So, with that lineup, I didn't take Shield Security or Shield Medic past like level 50. It was like 48 or something like that. I think I had them at like maybe 8 or 9k. Like, I doubt it was even that. But my Hawkeye and my Quake and my Cap were all over 20k power. As I said, they're part of my A team and my arena team, so I already had them ready. That said, the first 4 phases of this event were pretty easy. I just breezed right through them. Even the last one, I had video on it. I don't know what happened to it. I'm pretty sure like my phone ran out of storage while I was recording it, and it just like cut it off, and I don't have any of it. But I have the first 4 phases. I was fortunate enough to have materials like ability materials and gear saved up because I had my A team at a decent level, and I was counting on getting Iron Man to throw into my A team lineup because it is an Avengers Shield lineup. So I got him up to like 17k within like the first 10 minutes of like unlocking him. So, and then from there, it was like I was just like leveling him up over the course of a couple days and getting him up to level 60, getting his his abilities all the way maxed, and now it's just like gearing him up. I got him up to tier 9. I'll probably have him at tier 10 relatively quick. You need a lot of unstable molecules. Like, I'm gonna just put that out there now. Like, he requires so many like unstable molecules. So like, if you're going to unlock him or you plan to and you want to gear him up really quick, have a very abundant stash of unstable molecules sitting on the side, because you're gonna need all of them. Like, I think at least, like, I use at least 40 just to level them up, and it doesn't stop. Even at like tier 9, I'm still farming unstable molecules because I was like unprepared for that. So that said, is he worth it? Yes. Is he S tier? No. A, B tier? Yes. A tier, definitely in a Shield Avenger lineup, especially if you have Black Widow. I don't have Black Widow. I'm not going crazy farming her. I think that she's going to have a node or some way to farm her in the near future, based on the timeline that Fox Next gave us in the email like 6 weeks back or whatever, talking about the release schedule. I expect to see her relatively soon, and it will equalize a lot of the player base as well, get a lot of people on par, and it might even change up the metas a little bit. But I think they're going to introduce some heroes that are going to change it up regardless, especially when Ant-Man and Wasp event comes, and I'm guessing that's going to be within like the next 10 days. So, yes, he's worth it. He's amazing in a Shield Avenger lineup. I'm going to go over his abilities here briefly, but I was counting on throwing him into my A team. Are you going to use him in an Avenger or a non-Avenger Shield lineup? Probably not. But if you don't use your Avenger Shield lineup as like your A team, but you want to build one for like a Blitz squad, he's definitely a great addition. He offers crit to everybody, which is a big deal, and it shines, trust me. Like, you feel the presence of his extra crit. I crit a lot more, especially with Quake and Hawkeye, for that matter, and Hawkeye hits harder than you would think. So, he's definitely worth it. The event was pretty well done for the most part, and I enjoyed it. I expected the same kind of thing coming from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I kind of knew what to expect, so I like wasn't completely surprised or caught off guard by anything. It's all pretty standard for me. So, going over his kit, we're going to be starting with his Repulsor Blast, which is his basic. It has a chance to chain. It can hit relatively hard. It crits often. I've critted for over 15k. He hits harder than Yondu. Like, I'll just say that, Yondu's basic. Now, Yondu's AoE hits a lot harder than the Rocket Barrage, which is his second ability. It's underwhelming. Even with Cap in your party, I think it needs a buff. It needs to hit harder. There's a lot harder AoEs in the game. This is not one of the harder hitting ones for sure. Unibeam is where he really shines. It's great if you want to nuke certain characters right out of the lineup, especially like a Crossbones or a Quake or a Gamora. Like, if you really just want to get them dead, it hits hard. So you can count on that ability. If there's one ability that you want to get to level 6 ASAP, it's probably that one. And then you have his passive, which gives crit, 10% chance crit to like everybody. I have it maxed out, so I don't have to worry about whether or not they fit into like the tech or whatever description. Like, everybody gets crit, and it's definitely noticeable. So that's his kit. Nothing great, nothing super fancy. The Unibeam is great, especially if you can get it out early, and when you have Cap in your party, it's really easy with his bonus ability energy to get Unibeam out there and just nuke somebody right off the field. That's exactly why I went after him. I wanted to use him for Arena to get rid of the, one of the tanks, because basically in every Arena team, when you get into the top 50, 20, 10, it's just tanks. Like, 2, 3 tanks, often Kingpin, Crossbones, things like that. I got tired of seeing that. I had Thanos as my other hero that I was using, and he just wasn't cutting it. So on defense, we'll see. I don't have Iron Man high enough where I think I feel comfortable putting him on defense. I think once I get him a tier 10, I probably will, and see how that plays out, see how many spots I drop, like overnight or whatever. But as far as like on offense, as you can see here, this is a top 20 battle on my Arena Shard, and I really just didn't have any issue going through the opponent that I was facing. So he works really well, especially in that Shield Avenger lineup. Like I said, his Rocket Barrage is like underwhelming, but overall he's just like he's a pretty great character. Is he worth farming up all the shield agents? Well, I mean, yeah, but it's not worth spending money on. Like, if the event comes and you're so short on shards that you're not even close, I wouldn't go spending like $50 to $100 or anything to like get the heroes and the shards to like unlock him, especially if you don't plan on using him right away. But definitely, like, if it's something as an afterthought, like if you want to slow farm a lot of the shield members like shield security or shield medic, like, he's definitely worth it. I think we're going to see the event again in another 6 months after this one. Personally, I think the next event's going to be Nick Fury. Whether or not Nick Fury requires shield agents or Avenger, because he was Avengers in beta, so we'll see. It wouldn't shock me if they made it Avengers, considering how many Avengers there are now, and I can see heroes like Black Widow and Black Panther becoming a lot more easily farmable, maybe even Vision. So it wouldn't shock me. So be prepared for that. I'll have a video on that and describe what I would use and how to farm them in the near future once we have like more of a clear idea of the direction that Fox Next is taking, because as we all know, they don't really communicate very well with their player base. So, but great hero. I would definitely recommend if you're close, then you should have been farming him. and kind of, you know, shield security is probably like the hardest one, because it's like you got to have like a decent arena rank. Like you can't, there's so many good heroes to farm from the arena store that it's hard to be like, oh well, I really don't want to waste it on shield security, so just for Iron Man. Well, I mean, I had an Avenger lineup, you know, so, and shield lineup, you know, because I'm farming Quake. It's pretty much what I focused on. And then once I got her to 5 stars, I just went back and got shield security to 5 stars, and that was that. And now I'm going right back to Quake, because I personally don't care about Drax at all. Or even then, the next one I would farm is probably Daredevil, because I think Daredevil is very underrated. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to get into him. It's not a discussion about him. It's a discussion about whether or not Iron Man is worth it. I thought the event was well done. I was prepared for it. I think he's worth it. Even though I'm not going to use shield security or shield medic anywhere in the near future, I didn't have to invest heavily into them outside of farming their shards to unlock him. Now, as far as in the future, when I have 6-7 stars, the next time he comes around, which will likely be 6 months, then we'll talk about it then. But I feel like he's a great addition to any Avenger and Shield lineup, and he should be somebody that you should be chasing if you're looking for like a high damage nuker, because he does that. Like he is that high damage nuker, and a lot of the meta right now is like controller. So if you want to just nuke those people right out, he is great at that. So that's my my overview of the I Am Iron Man event. I thought it was well done. I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about what I did, how I did it, please comment down below. Like or subscribe if you want to be up to date on the latest Mr. Nibb content coming at you. Thank you guys, and be the change you wish to see in the community. Take care, folks.